On today's video, I'm going to be taking you on a driving tour through the charming Mckinney neighborhood of Tucker Hill, a picturesque community just 30 miles north of downtown Dallas. I'll show you what this place looks like with a first-hand drive through its tree-lined streets and unique historic style homes. We'll cover where it's located right off 380 highway with easy access to major roads, and we'll dive into fees associated with this community. I'll break down the price ranges from mid-600s to over $1 million and the size homes spanning from 2,000 to 5,000 square feet. Plus, I'll weigh the pros against the cons for Tucker Hill, so buckle up and let's explore this neighborhood together. So that makes sense.
Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. Today we're doing a driving tour through the neighborhood Tucker Hill over here in McKinney, Texas. This neighborhood is located in Collin County, more on the north side of McKinney, Texas. McKinney, Texas is a very big city. This one I would say is more towards the northern side of it just because it's located north of 380 highway, kind of in the middle of where the Dallas North Tollway is and 75 highway right off 380. So pretty good location in terms of being able to jump on a highway system to be able to commute out of places if you're working in Allen, Plano, Frisco, and maybe even in Dallas. I'll talk about commute times here in a little bit, but first we'll go over the tax rate, HOA fees, and kind of what the curb appeal of this neighborhood looks like. So we'll drive through this one today. It's a small neighborhood. It's not the biggest master plan community. I would say there's a little under 600 homes within here. There's homes in here that are going to range from like 2015s, 2016s, 2017s. I think when I was on the MLS looking at like the past 365 days, one of the oldest homes sold in here was like a 2016 or 2017. And then there's also going to be some relatively newer construction homes in like the 2020s. So this isn't the newest construction neighborhood, of course, in McKinney, but it is one of the newer homes. I love how this neighborhood is laid out. A lot of medians, a lot of space across the street between you and your neighbor. However, the space between the neighbor on the left and the right side of you, not the best, but this neighborhood does come with alleyways. So the curb appeal of these homes is what I like a lot more than having the garages at the front of the home. I believe there was a few homes within here, a couple streets that did have the garages at the front, but for majority, when I was driving around and kind of checking this neighborhood out, it seemed like most of these homes had alleyways in the parking in the back side of the home. And breaking down some of the fees in here, the tax rate is gonna be at 1.9%. You're gonna be paying the McKinney city tax, Collin County tax, Collin College, and Prosper ISD. So this neighborhood is zoned for Prosper ISD, even though it is kind of leaning more towards that McKinney area. You'll find that the addresses within this neighborhood are McKinney, but also over in this area of McKinney where Prosper meets, you'll find that a lot of neighborhoods over here are zoned for Prosper ISD. So if you are on a home search and you're trying to get into Prosper ISD, but you're only looking at Prosper addressed homes, you might be doing yourself a disservice. So open up your search, make sure you're looking at Frisco, make sure you're looking at addresses of McKinney, because there are still some neighborhoods that might be zoned to a different city, but still the school district is zoned for Prosper ISD. And I have buyers that come in and they ask me, you know, will the zoning change? And the zoning won't change when it comes to the school district. So even though it is zoned for the city of McKinney, it's not gonna change to McKinney ISD. It's going to stay Prosper ISD. What could end up changing on the zoning is actually what elementary school or middle school or high school is zoned for this neighborhood. That could change in the future, especially more over on this side of town where a lot more open fields are. And the city of Prosper actually has some plans going on right now and some future school sites over on the east side of Custer Road, which could start changing up the school zoning over in neighborhoods like this one. The HOA in here is going to be $475 per quarter. That is a little bit higher, but that's relatively okay for the amount of amenities, the look at this neighborhood, how well kept it is. And the other thing with the HOA that's also interesting is I was looking on the residential leases and there's no leases in here. So this is really just families that are building roots within like a neighborhood like this. I don't know if there's some other people that may have leased their homes off the books or something, but when I was on the MLS looking like the past 3 years to see if a lease has been closed in here, there was none, which makes me think that the HOA is not allowing leases in here. So that just goes back into the point that around here, it's gonna be just a lot more families, not really a bunch of renters. So it's a lot of people, I would assume, that are gonna be in their homes in here for quite a long time. The homes active right now on the MLS, there's gonna be 3 homes active. On the low end, there's a 2017 4-bed, 4-bath, 3,398 square feet. listed at $815,000 at $239 per square foot. And then on the high end right now, there is a 2013 5-bed, 4.5 bath, 4,108 square feet, currently listed at $1 million at $243 per square foot. Homes closed in here in the last 365 days, there's been 22 homes closed in here. So that's about, not that it's perfectly, but if you break that down month by month, let's just call it 2 homes are closing in this neighborhood per month. Of course, more of those homes are going to be closing in the summertime rather than maybe in the quarter 4, quarter 1 of the years. But for those closings, on the low end, there was a 2018 3-bed, 2.5 bath, 2,304 square feet, closed at $620,000 at $269 per square foot. And then on the high end, there is a 2020 6-bed, 5-bath, 4,188 square feet, closed at $1,070,000 at $255 per square foot. So there's going to be a range of homes in here on sizes. So you are going to have stuff in here that are 3 beds at that 600 to 800K mark. And then you're going to also have homes in here that can be like 6 beds, maybe 4,000 to 4,500 square feet, listed north of $1 million. I would say like the median price of these homes in here are going for like 800 to 900K. You will find that one-off home in here that might be listed at like $1.2 million. And then you might also find that one-off home in here that's going to be listed between the 600 to 700K mark. So if you're on that lower end budget, you might be able to find something in here, but it is going to be an older home, potentially like a 2018 or a 2017. The amenities within this community, you're going to have a pool, community center, sidewalk, trails. So there's not really trails through like trees and things like that, but they do have some open park spaces. There's one actual playground park in here close to the amenity center. But like I was saying before, I really like the amount of roundabouts in this neighborhood and how spaced out the homes are from across the street to each other. They're a little bit more spaced out just because you have like a thicker piece of grass on the median, which kind of gives a better aesthetic to this neighborhood. There's a couple different green spaces, couple park benches to kind of sit out on, but walking around this neighborhood would be really nice. A lot of charm to this neighborhood and the curb appeal of these homes. I do like a lot of these homes in here. However, there are some homes in here that are like painted green, which I have never been a fan of. I don't really like green, blue painted homes. White painted homes are okay, but the brick homes in here look really, really nice. Even some of the brick homes in here with stone accents on the entryway look really nice. And it doesn't really look like the style of homes that you're typically seeing through my neighborhood tours. This neighborhood does have really a different aesthetic to it than majority of the new construction neighborhoods that I take you guys on tours of. Outside of this neighborhood, like literally right outside this neighborhood, you don't even have to get on 380. There's actually some small restaurants and some other commercial things just on the outside perimeter of this neighborhood. So like there was, I think it's called like Excellent or Egg something. It's like a breakfast place. There's like a Mexican restaurant. There's a title company. There's like a real estate office. So they have some commercial stuff right on the outside of here. Gas stations, banks, things like that are going to be a little bit further away. I also like how this neighborhood is located right off 380 highway. It is a bit back from 380, so there's probably like 20 homes that are a little bit more up along 380 highway. You probably will notice the noise, but once you start getting a little bit further back in this neighborhood, it does start to feel very private and very quiet because the perimeter of this neighborhood just has a bunch of trees around it. So instead of it being a bunch of flat land or there being other commercial property around here or apartments, you don't see any of that. You kind of go down this hill, hence is why I believe it's called Tucker Hill. So some of these homes at the beginning of the neighborhood are on a bunch of retaining walls, and then as you kind of get towards the back of the community, starts getting more into flat land, starts getting very private and very quiet, or at least that's kind of how I felt as I was touring through the neighborhood. It being off 380 highway is convenient, however, you are in the middle of both 75 highway and Dallas North Tollway, so you can kind of pick either or, but I also kind of find that to be annoying. I would rather live closer to the Dallas North Tollway or closer to 75 highway. That way you're at least somewhat near a highway system. Yes, you're off 380 highway, but just understand 380 highway is not like these other highway systems. There's a bunch of lights that you have to drive on. So yes, you can drive relatively fast, but you will be stopping at moments of time, especially during rush hour. The school district in here is going to be Prosper ISD, and that school zoning is going to be Reeves Elementary, Jones Middle School, and Walnut Grove High School. Reeves Elementary and Jones Middle School are relatively close to here. Walnut Grove High School is a little bit further away, but still not too far. The commute times out of here down to Dallas is going to be 1 hour. DFW Airport, 37 minutes. Fort Worth, 1 hour and 10 minutes away. The hospital, 7 minutes away. and the nearest grocery store is 5 minutes away. So going back into that commute time, so you can see just going down to Dallas from here is an hour away, and that's because you got to get onto 380, you got to hit a bunch of lights, and then you're finally onto the Dallas North Tollway system. And even though this neighborhood might look like it's a little bit more south than some of the Salina communities, you'll find that living in Salina up off the Dallas Parkway or Dallas North Tollway, once it gets built through there, you'll actually be able to commute faster to Dallas than living over here, even though if you look at a map, it is a little bit more south. It's just because that 380 highway, there's a whole bunch of lights at it. So that would be one of the cons with this neighborhood. And if we break this down now for pros and cons, just because I was thinking about commute times, and that can be a con in some instances if you are looking at some other properties, maybe in Salina or somewhere else in McKinney that's a little bit more east off 75 highway. But pros in this neighborhood, I would say like curb appeal of the homes is really nice, how quiet it is in here, how charming the neighborhood is. You get an amenity center, you get pools, you get playgrounds, you get nice open walking spaces. It is a nice little charming community. I find that the aesthetic of these homes are a little bit different than some of the other homes that I go and tour. Downside to these homes is going to be some of the front yards are going to have large retaining walls. I'm not too big of a fan when the curb appeal of the home has a huge retaining wall and you've got to walk up like 10 flights of stairs to get up to the front door. Also, a majority of these properties are not going to have big backyard spaces. Some of the homes in here are sitting on like 40 foot, some of them are like almost on 60 foot lots. The corner lots seem to provide the biggest amount of backyard space. However, the corner lots have wrought iron fences, so you get a little bit less privacy with the home. So some of the homes are going to have decent privacy just because they have an alleyway behind them and they have that wood fencing. But some of these corner lots, your whole backyard is going to be a lot more exposed, but you are going to get that bigger backyard. So I guess it depends on if you care about the bigger backyard and less privacy, or you want that privacy, so you probably pick something that's more of an interior lot. Also, it being off 380 highway is kind of like that pro, kind of like that con. Like I was saying, you're right off 380, so boom, you can go right and you're into Prosper within seconds, or you can go left and then you're up just a little bit and you're into kind of like the main heart of McKinney too. And that's kind of the breakdown for Tucker Hill. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this neighborhood tour. A little bit different than my other ones. This isn't a new construction community. I know I do a lot of new construction tours, but I also want to get into some neighborhoods that are a little bit older. That way we can see like all the homes being built out. I find it kind of frustrating when I go to some of these new construction neighborhoods and it's just a whole bunch of flat land and you can't actually see what the homes look like. So if you are looking for some older homes, but not too old, like 2017 to 2020s, and your budget is like $700K to $1 million, you don't care about big backyard space, you want a nice charming neighborhood, you want to be zoned for Prosper ISD, I think this is one of those communities that you have to consider. If you guys have any other questions about Tucker Hill or buying in McKinney or Prosper, please send me a text or give me a call. I am a licensed real estate agent, would love to work with you and your family on your home search. Other than that, peace out y'all, and take it easy as always. Thanks for checking out my channel and watching that video. I got more videos floating around here. If you're in the market to buy or sell real estate in the DFW area, I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Besides that, bye.